Busy people getting fit in Fulshear, Texas. Our aim is to help you look better, feel better, and perform better as quickly as possible. I'm your host, Bryan White with Blue Eagle Fitness and Nutrition. Welcome. Hey, what's up, everybody? I am here this morning. Can't tell that it's morning because it's raining outside. We're so grateful for the rain.
We are.
Though I hope it doesn't rain tomorrow because we have a big event fundraiser tomorrow.
And I have market tomorrow night.
And you have market tomorrow night. So we're hoping that the rain doesn't, out of all the months that we haven't had rain, and finally we make plans. But here we are. I'm here with Miss Jennifer Strong, who, by the way, has the other arm. There we go. Who, by the way, has the greatest last name ever. My last name is White. I have like the worst last name ever.
It's not the worst. So my fiance is Mahalik. Nobody can pronounce it. They call him Mishalak. And I was like, babe, I just don't know if I can do it. I mean, to go from Strong to Mishalak, I think I would just be like aggravated a lot. So I was thinking about hyphenating, but I want to be respectful. So
I went to high school with another Bryan White. He married a woman who's Japanese. He took her last name because it's a pretty cool. It's a pretty cool last name. You can spell it. It's phonetically correct. Yeah. So I just thought.
I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
Well, we are here to learn more about Jennifer, and then we'll get into her business, Madewell Mercantile, which you can see on the shirt. But let's learn more about Jennifer first. Tell us a little bit about where you're from, where you were raised, all those good things.
So I was actually born in Houston, but when I was 2, we moved to Singapore. My dad's in the oil industry, so we were there for about 4 years. And in the 80s, there weren't very many Caucasians that were there, and we were all towheads. People would go around rubbing our hair, literally for good luck. Apparently, I was kind of a feisty kid because I told one of them to go suck an egg, which I'm like a baby. You know, I'm like 2, 3 years old. Don't know where that came from. Anyway, we got to travel all around, all over the world. I guess I used to be able to speak Mandarin, which now I know Ni Hao Ma and Shay Shay. That's all that's left.
Sure, understood. We lived in the Netherlands for a couple of years, and both of my girls were pretty fluent. Both of them were fluent in listening to Dutch, and my older one could speak Dutch, and now they're like, we have no idea.
I know. I wish I spoke different languages. I took French, and why I didn't take Spanish, I don't know, and sign language.
Okay. So you were in Singapore until you were about 6?
Until we were about 6, and then we came back and moved out. My parents wanted to have some acreage, not really be... The neighborhood changed when we left. So we were there for, let's see, we moved to Richmond. I don't know. I was in like middle school. Went to school in Richmond, and yeah, that was kind of where I grew up there. And then I ended up going to UT, and then...
Okay. I didn't know that.
You didn't?
No, I didn't.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I miss being home. Like, I am such, like, I'm the only girl. I have 2 half-brothers, and then all my cousins on both sides are boys.
Really?
So I am, like, the baby and the only girl. So imagine, like... It was hard for me to be away from home. So when college was done, I just came right back.
Gotcha.
I have amazing parents. I see them like 3-4 times a week.
They still live in the Richmond area?
They still live in Richmond.
Okay. And when you came back, what was your job?
Man, I was going to go back to school. So I got a degree in anthropology, and I was going to go back to school. I wanted to be a forensic anthropologist.
Okay.
And then I'm not really sure what happened. I ended up not going into that, and then I went to the Art Institute for interior design. And that's kind of where, right?
Okay.
It's totally different. So
okay.
I'm like a science nerd, but I have a very creative brain.
Yes.
And I was a teacher, science teacher for 10 years, so I did use some of my degree for that. But yeah, so I have a fiance. We've been dating for 7.5 years.
Okay.
He actually proposed almost 2 years ago, but we're so busy, we haven't found time. And he's like, do you still want to get married? I'm like, babe, I do. We just, with my small business and him working, we just haven't found time. I have a bonus daughter, Sophia, and people are like, bonus daughter? So this comes from my brother. He was like, who wants to be called a step parent, a stepmom, or a stepdad? Like, you're a bonus. They get 2 moms or they have 2 dads.
Sure.
So she's my bonus daughter.
Okay. How old is she?
She's 16.
Okay.
She's amazing. Like, she is a great teenager. Like, you hear about all these horror stories, and I'm like, so I feel very lucky.
Good. Awesome. So you tell us a little bit about your background. A lot of it I didn't know. I thought we were going to segue from university into you being a teacher. I didn't realize your degree
I was also a personal trainer.
Okay.
Which is how I got into teaching. I met the principal. She's like, hey, we need a teacher. You have to have either a degree in education or get an alternative certification. So I went that route, and I did that for 10 years.
Okay. Very cool. And now you own your own business.
I do.
Okay. And tell us a little bit more about that.
So I was teaching for 10 years, and I felt like I was in like this.
Where were you teaching?
Oh, in A-Leaf.
Okay.
In A-Leaf. And I was an 8th grade science teacher. So I'm in my 10th year, not doing what I want to do. There's parts of it that I love. You love the kids, and but anyway, I felt like if I stayed another year, like I would just continue doing this, and it's not what I wanted to do.
Okay.
So I started. It's like, man, what can I do to start a business? Well, I'm gonna start making candles and soaps.
Okay.
Put them out there, see how they do. Friends and family are like, oh, this is amazing, and I'm like, all right, well, maybe I can start a business this way. But then I felt like I need to think more outside the box. So I started looking at UPS trucks, and I wanted a mobile shop. My family thought I was crazy, but they're so supportive. Like, even when I was at school, I'd be like, Dad, I found this one on Craigslist. He went and checked it out. Finally found one in the Galveston area. Went and got it, and went to like drive it to take off, and the guy's like, wait a minute, you're driving this home? I'm like, yeah, who do you think's gonna be driving this thing? It's my business. Anyway, we fixed it up. I turned in my resignation. Like, I'm not coming back.
Okay, we cut the cord.
That was it. Once I have my mind, I'm doing something, like, I'm doing it.
I like it.
It started just small. Me making candles, going to markets as we're working on the truck. But the idea behind the business was never for it to be just me. I wanted a mercantile, or people are more familiar with the general store.
Yeah.
I want to carry other makers' handmade goods. So I started developing relationships, and really it happened over Instagram. If I saw a product I liked, I would start reaching out to them. And then, now I have Melissa's handmade soaps, in the shop, and there's a cool story behind them that you don't find at like the big box stores.
Sure.
No one's coming around saying, oh, Brenda made that. It's, all the history behind it. So that's been the important piece that I've added to the business, is having other makers in the shop.
Okay. And when you say shop, where is...
So yes, everyone's like, oh, so where's your shop at? I don't have a physical location. I've done a couple collectives.
Yeah.
So there's like, let's say 100 people, you each have your own space. That hasn't worked out as much because you're not there to tell those stories, and people just see, this item. And so our goal now, we want to take the business on the road.
Okay.
So whereas I wanted a shop space, it's kind of pivoted to so before I say that, to make this happen, 6 months ago, we bought a travel trailer, sold all of our stuff. We have a 10 by 10 storage unit because we couldn't get rid of everything. We gutted it, renovated it, lived with my parents for 2 months.
The travel trailer.
Yep.
Not the storage unit.
Not the storage unit.
Okay.
And so now we're living full time. And we literally just got back from our maiden voyage in July.
Yep.
We were gone for a month.
Yep.
Which, by the way, I told my fiance, it's your responsibility to find me CrossFit boxes. Which didn't happen.
Oh.
It's okay. I mean, we went hiking and, we were out in nature, but so that was the first step. We took the business on the road. I had 2 markets in Idaho. So just to kind of see, like, how is this going to work, especially with gas prices and
Sure.
But we met other couples that are doing the same thing. And in fact, we leave for Utah in September. Got a couple markets over there. So it's baby steps towards taking the business on the road, kind of seeing how this is going to work out, and eventually have David, my fiance, doing it full time with me. Because right now he works for Amazon.
Yeah. Okay. So you have, you still have the truck and the travel trailer?
I do.
Okay.
So Step Van Morrison, which that's her name. Can you see? That's Step Van. I got her tattooed on my hand. My dad was not happy. And I was like, Dad, this is advertising. Anyway, so yeah, Step Van Morrison stays at our friend's. He owns a business in Rosenberg. I only take her out for Round Top, which happens twice a year in the spring and in the fall. She's old. She doesn't need to be. She's like a 1995. So I take her to Round Top for 2 weeks and I sleep in her. Everyone's like shocked, like, where do you sleep? I'm like, right here. She's cozy. So yeah, it's just the travel trailer that comes out, and then we set up. We have a 10 by 20 booth with all the different products from all the different makers, and I just started custom making hats, like burning and embroidering them.
Yes.
Because I missed making stuff.
Yeah.
It's how I started the business. So I'm starting something new now.
And what are the things that you sell? And keep in mind, one of the great things that I love about you is, like, in terms of style, we are the opposite. Like, I don't have style, and she has all the style, which is great. I'm glad that there are people in this world like you, because it would be very bland if this world was like
Coach
me.
says that, and then before we had this meeting, he was like, "So if you could wear your hair down," and I'm like, "Ooh." Like, people would not recognize me. This is like my signature, and they're like, "How do you do your hair like that?" I'm like, "I have no idea." It just pops up like that, and he's like, "And maybe a little bit of makeup." I was like, "Ooh." I haven't worn any since COVID. He's like, "All right, just be yourself." I'm like, "Perfect."
That is true. But still, you're pretty cool, right? And you make cool stuff.
Yes, I have cool. Of course, I'm biased, but the makers stuff that I have in the shop is just, and there's so many talented people out there. I mean, even like the jewelry I'm wearing, like, these guys are from Dallas. She's from Minnesota. This is my high school friend, actually, makes some of the jewelry. My friend Tanner, they're from Colorado. He did the logo. They make t-shirts. So I just love supporting other small businesses.
And artists. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
And so now let's pivot a little bit into how we met. Do you remember how we met?
I do. So my friend Tracy, who works out at the gym, they have a business, Madewell White Farms, and is it proper harvest honey or sell honey? How does that? They do both, so I don't know.
Tracy makes honey.
Yes.
That's what I know.
Well, she's not technically making the honey because the bees are.
Well, thought that was a given. Yes, she harvests honey.
Yeah.
That I know, yes.
So I knew Tracy.
Okay.
We'd been to markets together, and she's like, "Hey, they're having an event at, it was just CrossFit Fulshear at the time. Mm-hmm. And why don't you come along?" And I was like, CrossFit. I had been, so here's kind of a little backstory, just really quick. I've always worked out, been fit. I met my fiance. He's tall and skinny and does not work out. So, you fall in love. which you eat before you know it, I'm looking at I'm 25 pounds overweight. So I had already in the back of my mind, like, all right, I need to do something about this. This is not me. So anyway, I've been looking at like CrossFit stuff on Netflix. They had the games.
Okay.
So now Tracy comes to me and she's like, there's an event at a CrossFit box. And I'm like,
okay, let me, for anyone, because you and I both know where this is going, but for everyone else, the event was a wine and workout. So, and it was a ladies event. We invited a lot of ladies from the community to sip wine and visit other booths, like a market. We had a market at the gym. That's what we had, so that women could come in, grab a glass of wine, go to each of the booths, and we would also, when they showed up before the wine, we did a little workout. Before the wine, we did a little workout. Then they could grab a sip of wine and visit different booths. And you showed up with your truck.
I did. And I fell in love with the people that night. And I was like, it just felt like it was meant to be. So talked to Coach, we set up our first meeting. And of course I was like, well, I don't know if I can afford it, da-da-da-da-da. Threw that out the window. And 3 years later, it was just the best decision ever.
Yeah. And the part that, to me, there are two pieces that are the most important to me that I try, and I wish more people understood this, was we are not, certainly not your least expensive option, right? But we give results. We deliver results.
Well, and that's what I tell people, like, they've got so many gyms now, and it's a $10 a month membership. But no one's going in there, checking your form, seeing how you're doing. You're just there, left to do. And a lot of times people don't know what they're doing, and they don't make the progress. What we have is community, and basically every time you work out, you're getting a personal trainer. And so if you
That's my goal for us.
If you think about the price and what you're getting, it's super cheap. That's the way that I look at it. So that went out the window. I said it's now 3 years later. I was trying to think. I was going to add up.
Yes.
How much that would be. Like how much I've invested.
Do you want me to tell you?
Go for it, because I can't do that in my head.
3 years. Between $5,000 and $6,000 total. Yeah. And how much weight have you lost?
I lost 25. I lost the weight that I needed to lose. Yeah. And when I look back, Coach was like, I'd really like some before and after pictures. So I did one in my bathing suit before. And I look at it and I'm like, no, I can't show you that.
I'm like,
this
I will blur out your
posted.
face. I will, because, and here's the deal. Here's why I want the pictures. Because when you walk into our little, when a new person comes in, if they're interested in joining the gym, they sit down, they talk to me, and we talk about their goals, and we talk about the best program that we have, because we have a variety of programs that meets their goals. And we have this success wall, like this wall right here. It's full of pictures, right? And Jennifer's on there, right?
Not in my bathing suit.
She's not in her bathing suit, and so I do have 2 pictures of her. I have one after you lost about 15 pounds. And then I have another one that was a 6 to 10 months later where you lost a total of 25 pounds.
Yep.
And people can see that difference. And the reason why is because, like, you're not someone who lives somewhere in this city, somewhere in Nebraska or whatever. You're like a real person who, when a woman wants to come in and lose 25 pounds, and you're in the 8:30 class, and I'm like, there's Jennifer, right? That's her right there. And they just see this beautiful, fit woman. They're like, oh, I could never look like her. And I'm like, 3 years ago.
3 years ago, I was sitting there looking at them, thinking the same thing. And, you don't lose it right away. It's a lot of hard work. I try and work out 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Things come up. Sometimes it may be 4, sometimes whatever it is, but I truly enjoy going to the gym and working out. And it's the working out But I think number one is the community. It's when we go, like when we went out of town in July, I was like, I miss my CrossFit family.
Yeah. There
was a lady, I don't remember, I think we were in Montana. Anyway, there was a CrossFit gym and they're all running and I'm like, CrossFit? Because I miss it. So, I mean, that, you found a good thing when you miss going to the gym. You miss the people at the gym. And I didn't make too much of an effort to go to another gym while I was gone.
Okay, well, we're going to do better at that next time.
But
we're going to follow up with you
I went
more.
hiking.
Okay, that's great.
We were outdoors, but
Yeah.
what I miss too is lifting the heavy weights. Like I don't know, it's so much fun and it's empowering.
Yeah.
Like I just lifted that.
Yeah.
So hiking doesn't do that. Unless I put like a boulder on my back. Anyway.
Well, we think you're awesome.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I think you guys are awesome.
We appreciate that. I'm glad you joined us, Jennifer. And we will have you on again, and we'll talk to you later.
Yay. Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
You can get every episode of Busy People Getting Fit wherever you listen to your podcast or on YouTube. You can also reach us at busypeoplegettingfit.com. Until next time, thank you for listening.